Coach, you may be justifiably biased, but has there been a better tandem in the league this season than Amari and Raymond, particularly in the way they've just lifted the franchise?
I can say no, and I am biased. Take it for what it's worth, but terrific. Those two guys, and they're unbelievable. And just willingness to win, just leadership, whatever. Just whatever the phase you want to talk about, they're doing it.
Coach, can you talk about the stretch between Bagnani and Stoudemire, how those guys went at it down the stretch?
It was a defensive struggle, there's no doubt about it. Both of them were digging in. But, again, I shouldn't make jokes of it because that's what happens, and that's what happened to me. But that was a super. And I challenge anybody to guard Amari. And Bargnani the same way. The guy's 7 feet and can put it on the floor, and he shoots and foul shots, and what are you going to do? And when it comes down to maybe missing 1 shot out of 5, and that's what happens. And Amari just didn't miss. After his start, I don't know how many points he had the first 10 minutes in foul trouble, and 2 points and 1 for 6, and then ends up with 34 or whatever he did. And just awesome.
Mike, in your previous job, you obviously saw your point guard play at a very high level almost every night. But are you at least a bit surprised at where Felton is right now, just what he's doing every night for you?
Well, in the summertime you do dream. I was hoping. I didn't have the slightest idea. I just knew that from relationships and people who knew him that the guy was a big heart and a winner. And that's what we went with. But being able to get with Amari on the same page very quickly in times that we're in trouble. It just didn't start off easy. He had to grind it out. We're 3 and 8, and people, the arena was coming down on us, and literally, and he just wasn't daunted. He just did it, and that's all hard. That's all him and Amari. And both of them are, I just can't, and it's still a long ways to go, but I'm up here every night saying the same thing because that's what they deserve.
Mike, going back to your days together in Phoenix, have you seen an extended period like this from Amari? 6 games now where he's just been almost unstoppable.
Well, it's pretty extended. I saw about 3 years of it. he's good. And, again, it's just a little bit different atmosphere for him because we had a lot of guys in Phoenix, and even the year that he was out, we went to the conference final. So it was a different type of atmosphere and different type of where the ball was going and making a lot of people. But now it's him, it's Raymond, and it's very focused, and he gets like that. But he's been good for a long time, and he just keeps getting better.
Coach, does it feel right now that this team has like the characteristic of an elite team? Every time you need a basket, it seems that you get it. You also had some of the lucky break, like the Felton bouncing like 4 times. It seemed like those are like...
I was lucky?
No, but kind of bounced 4 times.
Just kidding. No, we have the characteristics. We'll see if we're good enough. I don't know. And I hope we are, and I have a feeling I know we're playing well, and we're playing... there's some things we have to get better to be up with those other guys, but they've been together 2 or 3 years, 4 years. We got a lot of young guys, and there'll be a process, and we'll hit some stumbling blocks, and we'll go down a little bit. But because of the character and leadership, I think that over time they will get there, and hopefully it's next week. I don't know that, but yeah, I think you can build on this, and where we are is ahead of what we kind of thought, and then we'll see how far ahead we are and see what we have to do.
Coach, what's going on in your head when the ball's bouncing around 5, 6 times in the final 2 seconds?
I was trying every English possibility, and you just sit there frozen and just watching it and going, no way, overload, just nothing smart, that's for sure.
Coach, before that ball hit the rim 4 or 5 times, Bargnani hit his shot, and then you had 3 timeouts left. You didn't call any of them. You said, let's play it on.
Well,
why was that?
Because I could call a timeout and say, do what you're doing. Let me call a timeout so I act like I know what I'm doing so I can get the ball back to Raymond and let him run a pick and roll. That's what we did in Phoenix. It's like, why call a timeout? And let me also call a timeout so they can put somebody in that, okay, we're going to go to the pick and roll this way, and let's just play. And that's what is great about two guys like that, they know where the ball is going. I've got confidence in both of them, and Raymond had figured it out. If he needs the ball to ISO, he would ISO it. If it's a pick and roll, he would pick and roll. But I guarantee you, one of those two guys is going to shoot it, and that's what we wanted. And I shouldn't even say that, because if the guy would come over and leave Gallo, well, the ball's going there. Raymond will find out who can do it. And we have confidence that Will hits big shots, Gallo hits big shots, Landry big drive and shot, and everybody's ready to go.
Mike, I realize you have to be careful with these kind of comparisons, but are Felton and Amari running the pick and roll close to the level where Nash and Amari were in Phoenix?
I think sometimes, again, like you said, I want to be careful because it's hard to compare to, and it's not really fair to anybody to do it. Just one did it for a long time against everybody and against some great teams. So far, we haven't shown that. So let's wait and see if we can do it as we go forward. But I'm very confident in what they're doing.